Thank you, sir. Very nice. So we shall conclude here. Now it is just 8 p.m. We are in right time. Sir, I am very grateful that you spoke on Gita because that is my favorite area. Number one, I love Bhagavad Gita.
I know.
And number two, Professor Ghosh appreciated that once I had expressed and justified also that multivarna in one personality. For that, I am grateful to both Professor Das and Professor Ghosh for this. Okay, to me, there is a verse in the Bhagavad Gita. This is the academic document available with us. Number two, that particular verse 13 of chapter 4, can be interpreted properly, and the second possibility is that it can be misinterpreted. Number three, there are two possibilities. One is the interpretation and the other is the misinterpretation. Unfortunately, our social life, our political life, our economic life, governance also, everything is motivated by the secondary meaning, misinterpretation. In our personal life, we live with misinterpretation. If personally I am a Brahmin, if I shall go with my son's marriage, I may prefer a Brahmin girl. So this is what we live with. This is what with government rules. This is how we live our we live our political life, social life, personal life also, with misinterpretation part. Then comes the right interpretation of that verse. That belongs to only 5 to 10% of people. So that part is the wisdom part. So the wisdom part, that is the proper understanding of that verse with an academic interest, with an intellectual pursuit. That part is separate. And the second part is, it is misinterpreted. And why it is misinterpreted? Because it relates to this long tradition of social living. So by mindset, we accept the Brahmin society or the societies of different varnas. Because of that objectivity also, we have this mindset. So there are two parts. So in the wisdom part, when we come to discuss or we take this topic for any webinar discussion or seminar discussion, there we are discussing about the intellectual aspect of that verse. The proper interpretation, word-to-word interpretation of that verse. Then whatever may be the commentaries of the great people, whoever he may be. But what is the real meaning of the verse, word by word, which is written in the Sanskrit language? So in that sense, very rightly Professor Das said and Professor Ghosh, and I think everybody said like this in their own language, that varna means color. This color is created by the combination of three gunas. Very simple. Sattva, Raja, Tama, these gunas are innate, that is given to us. So it is transhuman. This is the Prakriti, and we are bound to live by these three gunas. This is our compulsion. This is our compulsory existence. This is our determining factor. Number two, not only there are three gunas, or they are also dynamic. They influence each other. They dominate each other. They are active. So these gunas are also active. So in their proportion, different possibilities come out. And all the possibilities are bracketed into 4. Otherwise, there are thousands of possibilities of this combination of Sattva, Raja and Tama. So we have taken 4 possibilities. Sattva may be 80%, Raja and Tama less. Raja may be 80%, Sattva and Tama less. In this way, very mathematical, very calculative. By that way, we can increase our Sattva guna, and also we can reduce our Tama guna and Raja guna. In that sense, we can rightly say that we can make our destiny. There is determining factor, it's all right. In spite of that, by Purushartha, we can transform. So this possibility is there. So we live with the determining factor and also the possibility of being transformed. This possibility we have. So the combination of these 3 gunas that create different possibilities. All these possibilities are bracketed into 4 types: X, Y, Z and L, Brahman, Vaishya, Sudra, Kshatriya. And they are also well defined and described, so I am not doing that. But my point is, if any one of this possibility is lacking in our personality, then that is simply abnormality. That is not the complete personality. That is not a normal personality. Simply I am just taking 5 minutes because this is my fond area. Very simple. Suppose I am a Brahmin, but from my behavior you will be surprised that I am behaving like a Chandala. Myself, I don't blame anybody. You know my name, you all love me, and this may be my Brahmin quality when now I am discussing something, but you will find the another quality, the opposite quality in me. Should you say that I am a Brahmin? If you say that I am a Brahmin, then you belong to that misinterpretation. That Varnas are by birth. Varnas are by birth. You belong to that category. And 90% of people belong to this misinterpretation category. Only 10%, maybe 10% may be a very big number. If 10% is there, then it is a very good sign. As Dr. Das said, one day Gita will bring total transformation. I say the 10% is also a very good position. If only 10% understand the real meaning of that verse, that means interpretation, that there is Prakriti we have to accept beyond all academic discussion. There is Purusha we have to accept. We have to go with these presuppositions. Sattva, Raja, Tama, the 3 gunas are there with whom we have to live. There is no exception. There is no excuse. That is our condition of existence. But we have the quality, that is the purpose of education. We are getting educated day by day only to change that proportion. So in that way, the so-called Sudra will become a so-called Brahmin, and that means a person with a particular disposition will transform to another person of a different composition. Example is Arjuna. What Arjuna was in the Vishad Yoga, we did not find that Arjuna in the last chapter, Mukhya Sannyas Yoga. Arjuna has been transformed. The confused Arjuna has become the enlightened Arjuna. So we have to, in hierarchical way, we have to transform, and in the width, in the inclusiveness, we should have these 4 possibilities with us. I should be brave, that means I am a Kshatriya. I should be submissive, that means I have a Sudra quality. I shall be intellectual, that means I have a Brahmin quality. Similarly, Vaishya means intelligent. Those who are intelligent, and man should be intelligent also. Man should not be a fool. So we all have these four qualities. That is inbuilt. But we can develop, we can transform our sanskaras or these possibilities into better possibilities. Therefore, all great personalities, Mahapurushas, they were not great in their childhood. They have transformed. Vivekananda has transformed from an ordinary man to Vivekananda. Ramakrishnan has transformed himself from an ordinary man to a great yogi. All. That means there is transformation. That means the combinations, natural combinations of three gunas can be humanly controlled, developed, and we can make our destiny. That this is said in this sense. I can change my tomorrow if I live for tomorrow. This is the optimistic point of Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is education oriented, number one. Bhagavad Gita is based upon basically Advaita philosophy. So far as Shankaracharya and Swami Chinmayananda both are concerned. And also Bhagavad Gita subscribes to the dualities and pluralities, both manifestation and unmanifest. Bhagavad Gita believes in practical life because Bhagavad Gita teaches Karma Yoga. Bhagavad Gita acknowledges our emotional life. Therefore, Bhagavad Gita teaches Bhakti Yoga. And Bhagavad Gita also respects, honors our wisdom possibility. That is Jnana Yoga. Similarly, Buddhi Yoga. So, all 18 yogas or many yogas, they reflect human personality only. So, Mano, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankar, all we shall make all these antakarana perfect day by day. So this is my point. So the misinterpretation part, actually we are living, we are compromising, we are bound to live. Therefore there is a reservation system. Reservation system indicates that the misinterpretation of the Bhagavad Gita. That means that is the part. If all cats are same, then why do you insult them by giving reservation? All are same. That means we do not accept that all are same. Nobody. 90% people, they do not accept that we all are same because they don't have that Upanishadic knowledge that the self is in all of us. You see how Upanishadic knowledge has direct impact upon our practical life, including social, political, every aspect of our life. So even our friendship, even our family relation, everything is based upon the misinterpretation part. But I am very lucky, and we are all very lucky. At least for these 2 hours, we really understand the intellectual meaning, the spiritual meaning, the actual meaning of that verse. Otherwise, we live in the misinterpretation part. So it will take time, and this is possible by only Jnana Yoga. Therefore, many missions, Chinma mission, for example, their only duty is to spread Bhagavad Gita, is to spread this Vedantic wisdom. By that way, everybody will come forward to appreciate this aspect of possibility of Satya, Raja, and Tama. We cannot be absolutely free from Prakriti because that is the highest state of nirvana or liberation. If in a human form, we can experience a best form. That's much. That's much. We can take a form of a drunkard man, or a very dishonest man, and we can also take a form of a very the best man, superman, virtuous man, having the mechanism of the combination of these three gunas. That means it is a challenge to nature. In nature, there is a possible combination, but by human effort, by our education, by our realization, we can make the we can be the makers of this change rapidly. Otherwise, at two positions. Otherwise, we shall flow in the natural combination of nature. The second possibility is we shall go challenging the natural combination. In means we should be better day by day. Sir, this is my submission, but I shall
One
ask
point I want to add,
Professor Ghosh, please.
in this connection, that we should, I think we may have to conclude this by saying this on this verse, that it gives us two things. First one is its flexibility, and secondly, its idea of self-transcendence. That is what Krishna suggests in the second line. Chaturvarna sustam guna karma vibhagasa. But the second line suggests that I am not attached to it. I have created this and I am living this. So the onus goes to the performer of all these burners. So this is an abstract type of concept, social engineering, that Krishna is providing us, and probably this idea of self-transcendence has been missed by Ambedkar because of his personal reasons. Thank you.
Sir, this is with respect to the criticism for determinism leveled against Gita. So, freedom is there. That is what is there. That's another issue. I am not dealt with that. But that's another issue. Determinism is there, or freedom is given there. So, your point is leading to that, that it is not deterministic. I have done everything. That doesn't mean that you are living in a deterministic world and you have your freedom also. So, that way you can go. But with regard to, I can say one thing, which is very, very overwhelming about Gita. Look, for example, when we have two kinds of interpretations, Pramod Baba said misinterpretation and right interpretation. I'm not saying that. I am saying that there are Gita is taken as a religious text by some. That you can say them that the monastic schools. That is a religious text. And here, philosophers and scholars, they have taken Gita as a piece of great literature where a profound ethics is being taught in the form of a poem. And here in this part and that part, maybe there is not mutually exclusive altogether. We can distinguish, but it is not easy to separate them. They are not separate. They are not separables, but they are distinguishable if we take a word from Berlinge. So what happens is, one thing has strikingly remarkable about it, though it is considered by some or monastic schools as a religious text, you will not find the sharpest of the critics of Gita or criticisms of Gita is ever considered by any of them as a blasphemy. You will never see that. Even the sharpest of the critics, I have just gone through one communist critic of Gita, philosophy, Professor Zizek. Zizek has said very badly about Gita. He said that it is one of the obnoxious sacred texts. His point is that one, Henry Himmler, a Nazi, right hand of Hitler, was doing all genocides and holocausts, having a Gita in his pocket, and he was inspired by Gita. My contention is that somewhere a Nazi is doing something. In Pramod Babu's language, he has thoroughly misinterpreted Gita, and no follower of Gita has ever propagated violence. Though he found a clue that it justifies violence, it justifies killings. So a Nazi is justified by killing Jews. So Himmler's story he has pointed out. But I find nobody has taken it as a blasphemy of Hinduism, of Gita. Because everybody is open-minded, even the monastic school, even the scholarly school, as it is open to such criticism, and they have accepted this criticism, they have replied to this criticism, and it is a public forum that is being discussed. So I say there is nothing that we should
Uh,
protect you about it, but rather we should make it very open. Give your criticism. Gita will defend itself. Gita does not need your support or my support for its sustenance, because it is itself so self-sufficient. The doctrines are there. I said to my friends, those who try to defend Gita by giving support to Gita, I said that no, don't give support to Gita. Gita is self-sufficiently self-supporting itself. You just interpret it. And there are some interpretations by virtue of which the same doctrine is coming out very nicely from it, from the findings. You see these verses, then you can come to a conclusion what is right and wrong about what you say. So here is, so for example, you are trying to establish Gita by your supports and emotional supports. The moment the emotional support is ruined, Gita will collapse. Gita is not going to collapse because it is very self-supporting. The doctrines itself say a lot of things. So I am not trying to support Gita or give a support and stick to Gita that you sustain with my help or someone's help, an argument. It is whatever is given there, I have tried to analyze here. And I have said that how this thing has generated. These are the findings. Maybe I don't have all the answers to these questions, but at least I have tried to see that there is nothing by which you can say that this degenerating system is there because of Gita or because Gita is responsible for that. Rather, the opposite is true, that the Gita is not saying anything like this. So that's why it's a great epic.
Surprisingly, you will find that Ambedkar supports karma and rebirth. A
No, no,
person
no, sir.
who is
Ambedkar's.
trying to bring
I
the
am saying,
reviews
sir.
of Hinduism.
Sir, I am saying one book of Ambedkar that the Maharashtra government in 1987 has published, Department of Education. That book in which, that is the volume 3. Volume 3, page 362 to 70. Ambedkar very says that Arya Dharma, in Arya Dharma, how Sudras were respected. 7 pages. All 7 pages, he's saying about this. He says by Arya Dharma, he must be meaning Vedic Dharma. He must mean by Arya Dharma, he is meaning Vedic Dharma. And in Vedic Dharma, he has very elaborately said, even 7 pages, page 362 to page 370, about this. That Shudras were also a very important part and parcel of Arya Dharma, Arya Samaj. I mean, this not Arya Samaj in this sense, but this Arya Dharma. That's what he has said. He has admitted that how they have such higher positions, and there are Sudra kings. He has given the examples. I have quoted from Ambedkar that he has given the quotations that how Sudras were having a very great position. So I think that is also, he indirectly admits that. But he has interpreted Gita as a counter revolution, where I have some problem with it. That actually it is not a counter revolution. Many resemblances are there, as Professor Srivastava said, in Gita and also in Buddhism. Many ethical doctrines are almost similar in many aspects. That can be they're compatible with each other, not a contradiction with each other. That's what my observation so far is this. I will also open my mind for further sources to either react to some other sources. I will
Sir,
again find my own sources. Thank you.
sir, what is, hello,
Ah,
sir, what is your view on my view?
uh, you are, because you are very much versed with Gita, as I heard several talks of yours. You have very rightly observed Gita's misinterpretation and interpretation concept. I agree with it. That there is a lot of misinterpretations of Gita which creates such a social problem. You are right in that aspect. But with regard to when you are saying about the gunas, 3 gunas, I have avoided the Sankhya, Purusha and Prakriti because I think that if you put them, that will be more confusing, because the metaphysical foundations here may not affect our social philosophical problems. So to mingle with metaphysical issues with the social problems, I find a bit difficulty in accepting. But I mean to say that you are also saying the same thing. That is, the three gunas are in everyone. That is what you said. So you are right, I think. That I agree with you. That's what I have said.
Sir,
The
sir,
three gunas
sir.
in proportion that is there.
If these three gunas are there in everybody, so the four varnas, or I am telling thousands of varnas created by these three gunas are also available in every person. This is the logically
Right.
okay. So
In
that means I am a Brahman in a particular mood of mind. I am a Kshatriya. I am the same person, but I am doing my role, social role, with different moods. If the mood will be missing, then my character will be missing. I cannot do that. So, in a particular moment, I am exercising the mood of a Brahmin quality or more sattvic quality, and at that time, I behave like a Brahmin. Suppose I am angry, it is not that I am not a Rishi. I am a simple person. I am getting angry. At that moment, I am not that personality. And sometimes we also need to be angry. That is for our protection. So at that time, we shall behave like a Kshatriya. Otherwise, nobody will obey the principle. Nobody will obey the.
the
So,
predominance of the gunas, the predominance of one guna over the other is saying about one truth. That is, everybody is not, nobody is perfect, right?
yes,
Right, exactly. So
yes, yes.
it is a truth that
Uh,
nobody is perfect. So the
yes.
predominance of one guna, that is
Uh,
sattva, hmm,
uh,
makes you a Brahmin.
uh,
Makes you a Brahmin in the sense that you are a virtuous person, in the
uh,
sense
uh,
that you have not only knowledge, and
uh,
knowledge in the sense of you are knowing good and bad, also you are practicing what is good.
uh,
So this is also wisdom, right?
uh,
Knowledge in the sense of wisdom, I will interpret like this: that you are not only knowing, knowing is also being. That is what
yes.
my contention of
Nay,
knowledge
nay,
here in
nay.
this country.
Here I object only one thing. If we conclude that Brahmin is he who has more sattva guna, very simple.
Yes,
Okay.
With you.
yes, yes,
Agree with you, sir.
yes.
In addition to that, I am saying that is only one state of a mind, only state of a mood,
Right.
only a particular context. If he will remain as a sattvic in all contexts of life, he is a failure. He cannot be a successful person. He cannot administrate anything. He will lose his emotional aspect. So that is the abnormality. So my point is that even if sattva dominates over other qualities, at other times I have to change the combination. I have to bring Rajaguna to dominate. Sometimes I shall bring Tamaguna to dominate. Otherwise I can't sleep. I can't have sound sleep in night. That is my point. So all the gunas are good for human life, and all the time we are practicing three gunas, and its products are four varnas.
Nice,
That is yes.
that is something like this. I will say
Uh,
that
uh,
is something like this. Suppose, for example, um, Tamo guna, you will say that it's ignorance,
yes,
right?
yes,
I don't find it is difficult to understand that Tamo represents ignorance, and
yes,
Sattva to great extent says about knowledge in the sense that virtue, like
yes,
character, conduct, virtue, and that is knowledge. Okay, to be virtuous is a part of being. Knowledge is a virtue also, in Aristotelian sense also here. So what happens is that you are virtuous in the sense it is a character. Character is given a lot of importance. Your character trait of a Brahmin is that his foundation is knowledge. He is a distributor and But that doesn't mean that he will never be angry. That does not mean that he will never be upset. He will never be depressed. He will never be frustrated. He will not have these negative emotions. He will have it as a human being. But this predominates there. So it is reflected in his character. So that is what is it. Our takeaway from Gita is this. And
Yes, yes, sir. So here,
that is our takeaway.
yes. Then how can you justify the double role of Dronacharya, Guru Dronacharya?
Yes, that is Guru Dronacharya.
He
That
he would
says
be
about
he would
what you
be
know.
only
That
he would
that
be only Guru.
that says that he is a man of knowledge and
Huh,
character. At the same time,
huh.
he is also a skilled warrior. He has
Sir, I am telling only on my humble submission that having that double possibility is the
Yes,
possibility of
yes,
a human being. So if
yes, yes. That is possible.
Dronacharya,
That's possible.
if
It is
Dronacharya
possible.
could,
It is possible,
if,
sir.
if
You can be
Dronacharya,
multitasking.
uh,
You can be multitasking. That is not
if,
ruled out.
acha,
Multitasking is not ruled out.
if Dronacharya can have a double role, can have a double possibility, Shri Krishna is Sola Kala or Jagannath is Sola Kala, I just confused. Any means
Yes, yes.
16. Sola Kala means that it is a great number. And the
Right.
second line of that verse that tells about Nirguna. That I have given birth to these four varnas. I have created it, but I am Nirguna. I am beyond guna. Because if I am not beyond, how can I create? Something beyond, something greater can create. Otherwise, he cannot be the creator. So I have created these four varnas and I am nirguna. So by that Bhagavad Gita is giving the message in your human life also, you always try to become nirguna by doing niskama karma, by having
Correct.
jnana yoga, by practicing bhakti yoga. You also become nirguna. Lord Krishna and Arjuna, they are playing the theater there. What is the social message? Social message is that the Bhagavad Gita is imparting the possibility of a transformation, that from guna you become gunatita, you become nirguna, the possibility of transcendence, you can transcend. I mean that. So every moment is a moment of transformation, scientifically and also spiritually. Every cells are dying, every cell, new cells are coming. This is the physical body transformation. Similarly, in psychological level also, we are getting matured day by day. As a father, as a grandfather, as a retired teacher, our knowledge is getting mature day by attending webinars, seminars, writing books, etc. If it is not happening, then nothing is happening. So I hint to that possibility.
Right.
What was the status of Arjuna in Visad Yoga? He was confused. He is saying that I shall not do my duty. I don't understand what is Swadharma, Paradharma. I don't understand anything. I shall not fight. And he is giving hundreds of reasons not to fight. But the same person, after proper counseling of different yogas, etc., is now saying that I shall fight. And what is the beauty of Bhagavad Gita, sir? After the course is over, the teacher is saying that whatever I taught you, I taught you. Whatever you learned. But you are absolutely free to exercise your free will. This is Bhagavad Gita. There is no imposition that because you belong to a particular religion, you are bound to do this. No, no compulsion. But Lord Krishna says that you are absolutely free to be a critique, not to do what I am saying. That sloka I forgot.
Right.
Tad
That
ichhati,
is there.
tad ichhati.
That is there. That is
Whatever.
with regard to the criticism of determinism. Right?
Free will.
Yeah.
Free will.
Free will and determinism.
No pressure from the teacher. How submissive you see, how submissive. The teacher should take all credits. But here the renunciation is that the teacher is also not putting any pressure on the student. As we put pressure on our children, we expect many things from our children, or as a teacher we expect many things from the students, even in the sense of obligation.
Let us conclude. People are leaving.
Yes, yes.
There can be Gita versions for everybody. So many interpretations are possible. There can be Gita. So one Devdutt
Very
Patnaik has
nice.
said that this is my Gita. So his book is my Gita. And my Gita, by that he said, some should sell something. Sir, what is your Gita again? No, bhai. There can be so many people and can be so many versions of Gita. So everybody, Gita has a scope for everybody to interpret.
Everybody has followed. Everybody has followed the main Gita.
And one sentence, I shall say that in spite of all this discussion, it is your fate, destiny, whether you belong to the group of misinterpretation or interpretation. This is my submission.
That is by effort you can say it.
In personal life, nobody will see that. There is no need of any certificate. I mean that. But Bhagavad Gita speaks about the real transformation. If you practice, you will become. Knowing is becoming, as you said in the past. Knowing you know means you become. This possibility is